Ever since Tom Holland and Zendaya's engagement went public, people have been talking about and speculating about what makes this couple click so well. And they concluded that it must be how effeminate Tom Holland is. It just must be that. That's the key to any healthy relationship, is a man who is non-toxically masculine. All of these feminists have been celebrating and praising Tom Holland for his ability to reject toxic masculinity and embrace being silly and goofy and wearing wigs and lipstick and high heels. Specifically in this appearance on Lip Sync Battle from back in 2017, Zendaya was actually there to witness it in person. They weren't
together yet, right? They weren't together till 2021.
No, they weren't together until 2021, not at least publicly. They were still just co-stars at the time. So he performed Umbrella by Rihanna in drag, like actual PVC, like bondage gear and red lipstick and high heels in this whole dance routine for a TV show. And this was considered the moment that Zendaya fell in love with him.
Let's watch this here.
Oh, before we do, we have another 20 from Raymond Mendoza. Brett works hard with no days off since day one while Mary loses a bar fight and gets handed a pre-built audience and winning formula, a dream job, and apparently the button. Just hang it up in a shared space, please. Love you guys.
This audience was built almost entirely once Mary joined the show. So no, that is
how many subscribers were there when I joined?
We'd have to.
We were like under 10K.
No, I think it was like 12. Or something like that?
I posted about it on my Instagram story because I could scroll back. It sounds like you only love one of us, though, Raymond.
Might have been like...
I sensed a little bit of hostility there.
To be fair, though, Mary is still winning in the chat right now, 51%. So, you know, it's maybe a shared common space, but that's no fun. So we'll have to leave it up to the chat today.
Well, we're going to have to watch Tom Holland's performance now. This iconic moment. Maybe we'll fall in love with him, too.
Okay. I don't know which one we're going to get copyrighted for faster, the song or the...
the show. Yeah. So there he is, nailing the choreo.
They get the idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
So...
that's what it is. That's so.
You see Zendaya standing on the side of the stage, just laughing at him.
According to X, if you're lonely and you haven't been able to find yourself a lady, what you should go do is get a rain machine, some stage background dancers, a skirt, and go do a choreography dance routine to a Rihanna song. I guess the idea is like you just go find a random woman at the mall that you like, and then you just set this all up and you do this in front of her.
Sure to be a hit.
Sure to be a hit. Fellas, what do you think? Is this how you meet the lady of your dreams?
Open the video again and go to Zendaya's face when she's like, they pan to her on the side of the stage reacting to all of this. Yeah, hold on, I think this is an important detail.
Hold on.
She's they pan to her at one point.
Hold on. Here we go.
Go to like 37 seconds in is when they go to her next.
Okay, so this one first. She looks more surprised, if you ask me.
Okay, and then 37 seconds is when the really bad one. Like is that the face of a girl who's falling in love, or is that the face of a girl who's hiding disgust?
Look, I don't think she's hiding disgust. They're art nerds, okay? They're art nerds. They probably love this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that's the other problem with what they're saying here is like, this is a very specific demographic of person with a very specific demographic of interests that appeal to them. If you go to most women, I would bet that this is not something that would appeal to them. Now, if that is the straw man of this argument, which I assume that it's supposed to be, and the steel man of this argument is like somebody who can be silly around their significant other and doesn't take themselves too seriously. Of course, that's not what they're saying here, but I'm trying to give them the most charitable version of that argument as I can. That's already what happens when men fall in love, right? They already...
Yeah, I don't think they need to get in high heels and lipstick to prove it.
No.
you know, that's not really. You're also doing this on television, so I wouldn't call that really. Yeah.
Like
intimate,
somebody's like, well, I would do it, but I don't have a smoke machine and a sound system to do this.
And a backup dancer.
And getting the backup dancers just costs a lot of money. I don't have.
We have a couple of takes to read here from Twitter. One said, girls don't want hyper-masculine boyfriends. Girls want guys who are unafraid to be silly and vulnerable and secure enough in their masculinity to do this.
Those don't preclude themselves. You can be masculine and still open up in a unique way to somebody that you're with.
I'm pretty sure you can be silly, vulnerable, and all of those things without getting into drag makeup.
Believe it or not, like you can fix things around the house and be silly sometimes.
Yeah.
It can be done.
Here was another take. Alpha bros have podcasts where they coach other men to be hyper masculine, controlling red flag a-holes. Meanwhile, every woman I know is completely horny for this 40-second clip of Tom Holland in drag shaking his little ass to a feminist anthem. You really got them. You really got those red pillars.
Women really do love to give bad advice. They do.
And then there was this other clip going around of Zendaya and Tom Holland queening out together. I kid you not. This is what they called it. They were having a kiki. They were queening out together in this GIF posted on Twitter. Do you have it?
It's also funny because they were reading heavily into this one as well. So here it is.
This is what they mean by queening out for context. Yeah.
It's literally two people having an animated discussion.
They're doing this. They're moving their hands around.
She is. He went like this. He literally went like this.
He's copying her.
He looked like some like tech bro giving a speech where you do the thing where you do this and then you put your fingers together like this.
He's like imitating her to mock her, like, you know, to be funny.
Yes.
You know, and that's like the joke that they're doing with each other in that moment. But here was the take in response. Most men are too afraid to queen out with their girlfriends, and that's why there's a male loneliness epidemic. Another person replied, some men are embarrassed when they're silly and whimsical with their GFs. What's the point of being in a relationship? Be goofy with your partners. Life is too short.
And you were talking about that you were saying there are people who make TikToks of their boyfriends or husbands.
This has been a trend.
Doing things that they're silly around their significant other with, and then it gets posted, which is odd because kind of like how the critique of women who dress too revealing is that you should save that for your partner because he can cherish it in a way that others cannot. Being silly with a partner is a unique way in which you make yourself vulnerable with them, which allows you to bond at a deeper level. And by sharing it out to the public, you're actually cheapening all that goes into the give and take between the two of you.
Yeah, the trend was basically a bunch of women waiting for their men to let their guard down
so that they can get social media clout.
And then they start, you know, calling her like sweetie pie princess, da-da-da, you know, all of that stuff. Cuddling and all of those things. And then she's like recording it surreptitiously over here.
Yeah.
And then he sees the camera in the corner of the room and freaks out. He's like, what the fuck? Don't post that. And then they post it because they're aiming to be disrespectful.
Yeah, that's
you know?
awful.
And that's kind of why you're not finding men who are open and vulnerable because you're mocking them to millions of people. But I wanted to also read Tom Holland's personal comment on this appearance that he did on the lip sync battle. Tom Holland said, I'm proud of it. I like that it left a lasting impact. We had an amazing time. Here's the funny thing. Tom Holland denied that this was a statement about toxic masculinity. He said, I've grown up in the most non-toxic masculine environment possible. I didn't realize what I was doing was so forward-thinking. I was just like, yeah, F it. I'll put some fishnets on and dance in the rain. That'll be really fun. I don't care. And that seems like he didn't read into it nearly as deeply as any of these people on Twitter did. And the funny thing about it is that he, in his own relationship with Zendaya, seems to be taking the more traditional gender roles route because he asked Zendaya's dad for permission before proposing to her. That is not really something you would see as a male feminist
Yeah.
move.
Yeah.
I mean, because you're then like making it out like, oh, what is she?
Property?
She's property?
To be sold?
She's her father's property and you're buying her?
I mean, I suppose
you know?
in a way that says something about how she was raised too, if the family was okay with it.
Right, definitely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just
But they have
it.
different values in public than they do in private.
There is probably no place worse on earth for you to go and get advice on how to find and approach women than, Stan Twitter.
Yeah, I don't know if I can even think of a worse place than that.
It probably is the worst place
to
do that. I don't think that that's a good place to go there, guys.
Mm-hmm.
I just laugh. Also, look, again, they are from a different culture than, like, we talk a lot about, like, think about just how big America is. Like, the culture and the ideas that are prevalent in a culture in one state can be different to another. Hollywood itself is its own unique artistic bubble where they look at these things very differently than the average everyday person. And if you're looking for advice on how to approach women in some flyover state, it's probably not Hollywood where you want to get advice on what women find attractive.
Gordon Shumway sent us a 20. Just like everything else, when she is attracted to the guy, dressing in drag is silly and whimsical. When he's ugly and she's not attracted to the guy, dressing in drag is creepy, and the ick is an understatement. I think you should count in the fact that you dressing in drag will have something to do with women's attraction to you on some level. Yeah. Like, things that you do actually have an effect on the way that people perceive you.
Correct.
Including the opposite sex. So, like, don't do that.
As soon as it was done, he went and changed his oil in his car in front of her and in the car tire just to make sure. Yeah, so he's like, look, don't worry, okay?
Yeah, or unless you're trying to attract the type of woman who is into men that dress in drag, then go for it, I guess. But most women...
But again, they're using this as an overt say to everybody to do that. I don't think that's a good idea.
Most women will not find that attractive. Maybe Zendaya does. I can't read her mind.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.